What's up, Internet? I'm Aries Van Dam. And on today's dating horror story, uh, I told y'all this one was coming. Like, this is one that I actually had to spend a little time with getting to know this girl because um, we were trying a little something different. We met, and I knew it was going to be content. I kind of told y'all, some of y'all that. Um, we met on Tinder, and she was attractive. She was passing the visual test to, sleep over. So uh, we decided to start talking, and it went pretty well. We were getting along good, and so I told her, like, I could tell she's going through a divorce, and I just got a really weird feeling that she was just determined to see how many dicks she could sit on, just to celebrate, the divorce. And I don't date like that. Like, if I'm going to be having sex with somebody, that I need them to just be having sex with me. Like, if it's gonna be like a continuing thing, I don't sleep with just like the town bicycle. So if we were gonna talk for a little bit, and it started off, we were just gonna do a week just to see like a trial run, but it kind of went longer than a week. It went like 3 weeks, and she just kind of kept lingering around, and it kept staying, and you know, we were just kind of seeing where things were going. I could see the issues coming like the whole time. Um, Lots of issues, but it wasn't going to be a boyfriend girlfriend type thing anyway. Just I could tell by the way she was, like her personality and the way she talked, and and this is going to sound weird to some of y'all. She told me that, she doesn't care about people, and y'all were like, "Why didn't you run?" Well, I found it refreshing because I know that no one really cares about people, and I found it refreshing that she was at least honest about it. You know, most people, especially women, have to act like, "Oh, I've never done anything wrong and I live this perfect life." And she was pretty honest about her mistakes and some of the things. So I was kind of, I was like intrigued a little bit by that. And, but I could tell it wasn't going to go much further. Um, but I was just thinking it'd be cool to have a chick that, we only have sex with each other, and then you go do whatever the fuck you want and leave me alone, and I'll leave you alone. And she kind of thought that idea sounded decent too. But the issue was she can't do it without fucking with other dudes. She's just not capable of it because she's got a little bit of a hoe in her. She's coming out of a divorce. She wasn't married that long. She was married like I think 6 or 7 years, something like that. But it's somebody she was been with since high school. So they just got married late. It was a weird thing. And she's going through that divorce. And then other, I'll get to this other issue later. Um, but that was the reason that we needed to have an agreement. I just did not feel comfortable, uh, you know, raw dogging this chick if I don't know that she's only letting me do that. So we had a little bit of an agreement, and she agreed to tell me if she was gonna, have to go around, like if her black snake moan came out and she needed to go, run wild in the streets again, she would we would just end it right there. So we went on that little agreement, right? It was just we're just doing this as long as we both want to. And when she didn't want to and I didn't want to, we just stopped. So I don't want to as soon as she goes around another man. And I guess she doesn't want to as soon as she can't control herself to not go around other men. It's like the instead of the Kobayashi Maru, it's the hose Maru, I guess. I don't know. But she couldn't solve the puzzle because she just couldn't. Women have this issue where they just have to keep trying all the cocks until they find the one that they want that's perfect. Um, and I think that's why her divorce was happening too, because she, you know how women are. Um, but I just told her uh, we were going to try this as like a little experiment. And she was cool with that. So it ended up lasting 3 times longer than I thought it was because I thought we'd do about a week and she'd be, you know, going nuts. But she was doing good for a while there. And then it started to affect her that she was, about to be moving into a different house. And she was moving out of the really ritzy, nice neighborhood she lives in now. And she was going to not be the girl who lives in a, 4,000 square foot house. She was going to be the girl who lives in a little dump house that needs a roof, and and I don't even think it has carpeting or anything. It's just like bare floors. So she was having some issues with that, and I think she kind of just wanted she needed to find a guy that was just going to pay her bills, and she knew that I was not going to do that. Like it she's mentally ill for one thing. um because she thinks she has 5 kids, 5 kids, and she thinks because they're adults that she doesn't have baggage, which, I mean, you still have 5 kids. You can't tell from her body. I'll give her that. She does, exercise enough to where she doesn't have to be fat. So she has a decent body, but she's still in her 40s. You know, it's not all that, but it's still nice. She's still taking care of herself. She's not fat and she's decent shape. But I just don't see how someone in their 40s with 5 kids, who also has a dozen animals that she's also bringing to that little house she's going to move into the projects with. And I guess she's going to look for that because that's not going to be an option for me. I'll take you, but I won't take your mental illness. You're not moving a dozen animals, 6 dogs and 6 cats into my house. That would never happen. So I think that's what she's looking for. So she came over last Tuesday, and she just wanted. I thought it was just like a quickie or whatever. She was just coming over to surprise me or whatever. And whenever she was leaving, she said she's going to a golf tournament this weekend. And I just looked at her. I was like, "You don't know anything about golf. You don't even know anything about sports. So why are you going to a golf tournament that you're not going to be?" The agreement was I get sex on the weekends, like, so that's kind of the deal. So if you're telling me now you're not going to see me this weekend, I need to understand why. What's going on? Where you going to be, especially knowing how she is with her hoe tendencies. Um, so she said she was going to this golf tournament with a friend, and I was just like, I guess this is where we're going to be ending this then. And she said, no, 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 just you can see other women, but I'm going to this. And so she was kind of letting me know that it was something of that nature, where she's going there to look for a rich man. And so I was like, okay. And I wished her well and sent her on her way. And we haven't spoken since, because that was the end of it. Like, and she can't come back. I made that pretty clear. You can't come back. I don't want you with that stink on you now. Like, I gave a hoe a chance. I'm not going to give a hoe a bunch of chances. Like, you had a chance to do a little agreement and see how things went and see where things could go. And it was too much for her. She could not pass the opportunity to experiment with extra dicks. So, and that was the part that really bothered me about it, was that she kept telling me she doesn't know how I'm single. How are you single? And every couple of days she would say this and just freak out about it. But you still got to go see if there's any better singles out there. And that's the problem I have with women. No matter how good you make things for them, no matter how perfect your life is, they're going to think something's better out there and they're going to have to go sit on it. And that's what happened in her marriage. She had to go see, and then she got caught, and now she's having to get divorced. So I don't know. She might have been going with her husband. I don't know. We didn't get into it enough. She might be reconciling with her husband. I don't know if he's that dumb to take her back after the shit she's done. Some of which was with me. Like, but that's on her. Not my issue. Like, I did my little experiment, and I was a good boy the whole time. I was not online dating. I was not doing any of that. So, and other than to make sure she wasn't, but I wasn't looking for anything. I would just go check her account and then log off. That was it. So, um, but yeah, there's just no way. There is just no way, because women, um, they're all infected with feminism. Even like you, she seemed like she wasn't that way. Like, whenever she told me she didn't give a shit about other people, I took that as, hey, at least she's being honest and she's not, going to be woke and all that kind of shit. And she wasn't. She was not woke at all. She was not none of that kind of bullshit. But feminism has its clutches in a bunch of different spots. So it tells women that to be empowered, you just got to go fuck every man you can find, and you can't give up. Like, she's still looking for something better. And like if it was money, okay, you were living in a 400 like a 4,000 square foot house or something like that, like a huge house in a really nice neighborhood, and driving a Mercedes, and you had to go fuck other men. So that's why you're getting divorced. And then, like, you find a guy that you can't believe is single, and you keep repeatedly saying that, and then you just can't pass on the opportunity to go experiment with other cocks. So you can't get emotional about it. You just got to let them go and then cut it there. If they ever come back, now if she tries to when she does try to come back, because they usually do, I'm not gonna be nice. Well, she probably won't because she knows I'm making a video about it because she knew about the videos and stuff. I told her she was gonna be content. So this was known. This was known it was coming. And all this is stuff I'd say to her face. So it's not like any of it's like all that cutting or anything. But women just don't give a shit. They what it is they think that they'll just smile and, oh, he'll take me back. And it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way for me because once I think you're trash, I think you're trash, and I don't want to sleep with you no more. So there's no real point in keeping her around even as a booty call because I'd have to wear a condom just because I know she's not being cautious. So there's no reason to just let her spread STDs to me. I don't want it. You can keep it. So you got to cut them loose. And the hard part about it is you just got to be firm about it. Like you have to not cave. Like, and that means maybe having to call some of the old snuggle buddies I told you about in past episodes, because when you're weak, that's when you have issues, but you're strong after that. They strengthen you. So anyway, that's what I'm going to be doing this week. So, but I got to go edit this and get it out to you. Promise you it was coming, and you finally got it. So I hope this one. I hope this one helps some of y'all because some of y'all probably have similar issues too. But you got to be able to just cut them loose, like especially whenever they show you they're just determined to be a hoe. What what would you want to keep them around for? There's nothing they're good for at that point. Like even the sex is not good now, and that's pretty much the only reason she was here. There's nothing else like beyond the sex. Yeah, no, nothing. So, um, hopefully, I'll eventually find one that is worth more than just the sex, and maybe that'll make me want to keep them around to where maybe I'm not so abrasive with them, but yeah, I have to be forceful with hoes because you just can't give them an opportunity because you will end up regretting it. So that's my advice to y'all guys. Once she shows you she's a hoe, cut it there. Nothing good comes from dating a hoe. Peace.